You know what time it is now, folks. It is time for another Noon Whistle sponsored by ElkWorks. If you haven't seen our website, please jump onto the Elkhorn Area School District website and see ElkWorks. I'm here again with my partner, John Anzalone. Hey, John, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
And how about this special guest?
Who we got?
Pretty good-looking cat here. Mr. Sam Stebnitz, graduate of Elkhorn Area High School 2018, graduate of UW-Madison 2022, and the brand manager at Stebnitz Builders. Thanks for being on, Sam.
Hey, thanks for having me, Chris and John.
You're welcome.
All right. How do you feel? Feeling good? Welcome to adulting, huh?
Yeah, this is weird. I'm enjoying it. I'm really glad I'm not at school right now because I'd be working in finals week, and a couple of my good friends are still in class right now. So I get to do this instead of studying.
Making money instead of spending money. That's the game, right?
Yeah, it's nice.
All right, Sam. Well, we got a lot of questions just because obviously all of us and all the listeners are proud of you for we got to watch you grow up. At least I did through high school. But so let's pull over a little bit, go down memory lane. This is where Springsteen Glory Days starts playing. I don't have that, but tell us a little bit about looking back at your high school career. How do you think that prepared you for your experience and success at UW-Madison, and even now as the brand manager at Stebnitz Builders?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had a great experience at UW-Madison, and I was very lucky to go there and have a great time there. But to be honest, I wasn't ready to go to school there my junior year when I applied. I applied to 4 different schools: Whitewater, La Crosse, both good schools, and also Minnesota, Twin Cities. And when I applied, I was like, there's no way I'm going to Madison. It's too big. I wouldn't fit in there, all this stuff. Well, I got given an opportunity my senior year, and it put me kind of in an uncomfortable situation where I wasn't, ready. I didn't think I was ready for it, but the head basketball coach, Josh Scatterud, he put me in a situation where I could actually be the assistant freshman basketball coach. And it allowed me to sort of find myself in a leadership position that I hadn't really had in the past. And at the end of that season, I felt a lot more confident in leading in social situations, getting respect from my peers. That was a big thing for me. And by the end of my senior year, I'd really grown as a person. And, Elkhorn really allowed me to do that. So I'm very thankful for that.
So I think that's a great story because I remember that being an option, and Coach Scatterud saying to me as principal at the time, I'm like, oh, I think I was pretty excited to see your success. And I think all of us, especially the viewership, always have stories and, experiences like that from people who believed in us. So you find your niche, you get this confidence, right? You go to UW-Madison. Now here you are, you're the brand manager. Dad's the boss. Grandpa's been a part of this, right? 3 generations. Great Elkhorn story. Looking back, looking at where you're at now, what are some real priorities at Stebnitz, right? I know you guys are always busy building great homes, remodeling homes. But outside of the construction, what are some priorities internally, and it could be externally, like we see for Stebnitz Builders right now as they move forward?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for us always is building relationships. And it's something that I've tried to do, throughout my high school career into college career, was work on building relationships and having those strong connections to people, because in the end, it really does set you up with a lot of opportunities. This is an opportunity, for example, where I'm here today because I've made some connections with some really influential people in the community, and now I get to tell our story. So that's the first thing: building relationships and helping people understand that we're in this together, and it's a process. Remodeling can be a very stressful time, and to have a partner in that remodeling process that really you feel like they're on your team, that's important to us. So building relationships is the biggest thing.
So Sam, when you say relationships, and I know obviously the customer's an important relationship, what other relationships do you think about or consider and kind of the business, not maybe so much the process, but overall business?
Well, one of the biggest things is our relationship with our employees here, and Chris's relationship, Chris Stebnitz, his relationship with all his employees. Um, it's not it's not an employee-employer relationship. It really feels like the family business that this was started as. And I mean, obviously, it feels that way for me. But I think if you ask a lot of the people that work here, and we do have 25 employees now, um, they'll tell you what that feeling, and they'll explain to you the different reasons why they think it's just a great place to work, and that shows to outsiders that are looking in,
Sure.
interacting with our business.
How does relationships look on a community level?
Very important. As a small business, a lot of your business that comes is from reputation and who you know and which people know you. So maintaining those relationships with the community is very important. As you both probably know, everybody talks in small towns, and you get a lot of your recommendations for who you should be working with and trusting based on the people you know. So building those relationships with community members is very important to us.
So let's talk about, I'm going to circle back to when you talked about, because I've been on employer visits where I've got to interact with kids and with Stebnitz employees, and they're amazing. I mean, you can feel it when you walk in, right? Talk to me a little bit about, like, when you guys are in the hiring mode, and I know you guys, probably 5 to 10 years from now, it's probably going to be a little bit more based on, the age of our most experienced carpenters, but that's not isolated just to the building construction industry either. That's just the, baby boomers are starting to retire. Talk to me about employability skills. Like, who is a really good fit? I mean, we all have backgrounds where we've been at the hiring table, right?
Right.
And we all know we have the questions, but then there's the fit. And that's kind of the secret sauce on what makes somebody special at your employment, as an employer, who you want to bring on to the team and family. Who's the right fit? What employability skills do they have?
Chris, Sam, let me interject before you answer that.
Absolutely.
So Chris, are you talking about, I can drive a nail, put in a screw kind of employability skills, or are you talking about I can communicate how I interact with people skills?
I think, yeah, it's a great clarifying question, John. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think more of the employability skills, because you could have did you pick up on my sarcasm there? But thanks. But it is true. Like, I'm talking about those other skills. Like, you could have a great carpenter, but are they the right fit? You can have somebody who doesn't know anything, but are they the right fit? So yeah, those employability skills, or as industry calls them, those soft skills. What are you looking for in an employee?
Obviously, the first thing is professionalism. Regardless of who it is, who's coming in to apply, whether it's a lead carpenter who's in either middle ages or advanced in their career, or it's a young carpenter that's coming in, or a young office support staff person, it's all about how they interact professionally. If they're on time, if they're obviously polite and respectful, those are big things. But really, when it comes down to it, and what my dad Chris has really put as his main priority, is finding good people that can fill these positions. And good people is obviously subjective. It's not something that you can point at and say that's a good person on paper. It's how they interact, if they're looking you in the eye when they're talking to you. But bringing in good people allows us to build a culture that brings more people in. And so he always says you can always train a good person to have the good skills, but it's a lot harder to train a skilled person to have the people skills, if that makes sense.
So you're the youngest one on the call. John's the oldest. So if you look back, right? You look back at that seminal moment. Like, I'm an assistant coach for JV2. Like, whoa, my brother's in the program and I'm coaching, right? Yeah. And I'm sure you made Mason call you Coach Stebnitz all the time.
all the time, for sure.
Yes, exactly. Let's have some, respect for the
Show some respect. Absolutely.
If you had to give like the young Sam Stebnitz or students now, like, make sure you do this, like, what are 3 recommendations you would have for our youth, our juniors and seniors right now that you would say, hey, these are priorities, it could be a skill to learn, it could be an experience. What do you think? What would be your 3 recommendations to any current high school student as they embark on the world of adulting like you are?
The first thing I always say is treat people well. It's super important. And if you go back to the team setting that we were in, it's important to have the skills, right, to be part of the team. Why was I coaching? Well, I didn't have the skills. I didn't grow before college. So I was coaching. But I treated people well. And so I was looked at and given this opportunity to, grow in a different way. So that's the first thing. Always treat people well, no matter, even if you don't really like them. That's not important. Just treat people the same way with a lot of respect. The second thing is ask a lot of questions, because you don't know everything. I, at one point, thought I knew a lot, and I really didn't. So asking questions to people that you look up to, that's super important, and really just, you learn a lot that way. And the third thing is, it goes back to that you don't know everything phase. Always be learning. There's always an opportunity to learn and be better at what you're doing. So don't give that up because you get a new job. I easily, that's part of what I bring into my position here, is that I don't know as everything I possibly can. So I'm always trying to learn, always trying to find different ways to advance myself.
Yeah,
really
thank you. I guess, thank you, Sam. I think, having dealt with Stebnitz Builders and familiar with Stebnitz Builders, I think you guys do model that, and that is your culture. No matter who's in the office when someone walks in. Yeah, and we're absolutely thankful for your partnership with the schools and your dad's partnership that, he started years ago with making education important and making connections with our school important. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and in that same, I'm aware of, I get the ability, and I'm sure John, you do too. Like, if you get to be walk in an employer, and you see the employees are kids you either coached or they were graduates, right? And I enjoy, that's why I like going to Stebnitz and some of our other partners. Talk about how Stebnitz is identifying, you want to feed that pipeline, right? The work's great. There's not, we're always trying to bring in and seek, talent and get in the right people in our business. Talk about how you use, youth apprenticeships, which is a Department of Workforce Development sponsored program, and how that fits into, the vision of Stebnitz. I mean, and just kind of, I boil it more down in how you're reaching out to schools and identifying students for future employment.
All in about 30 seconds. How's that?
I can nail it right here. So I think, what's important is reaching out to the people that know these students best, right? They're teachers and they're, the administrators of the school that see them every day. We don't have that ability, and we can't see that in just an interview. So we always go out to, we try and make it to all the schools in the area to present to their students, to show them our opportunities and what the, trades careers have opportunities for them outside of high school. So that's super important to us, and really does give us great quality candidates from all the schools in the area, where they're really telling us, hey, this is a student that can make an impact on your team. And we are able to tell them sort of the things that we're looking for when we are searching for candidates.
And you guys, I know of 3 besides yourself, right? I know 3 current employees that's through Elkhorn Area High School and the district you've used that were YAs. 2 were youth apprentices, 1 were not, but you hired them, you kept reaching out and having that connection. And I think that's a good message to all employers who are trying to feed that pipeline and looking for ways to partner. Minimally just reach out. And we try to create this platform, Sam, not just for an opportunity for people to tell their story, but also as an opportunity to partner. So we appreciate it. All right, we're going to close.
Yeah, I just want to add real quick before you
Yep.
blow that whistle that, Sam, I have been and am a customer of Stebnitz and have had work done by you guys. And you don't just say it, you do it. Like when you guys do work, it's excellent. Your people are great. They're friendly. They communicate with you and they do great work.
I appreciate it, John. Thank you.
So Sam, that would be a moment where you don't have to really say anything more because that was the mic drop on behalf of Stebnitz. But John, you got any thanks real quick, or Sam, anybody you want to thank for anybody right now you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to shout out Joanne Pella, Miss Pella at Elkhorn Area High School in the school district. She's been great at helping us answer any questions we might have about youth apprenticeships and bringing us obviously those qualified candidates. And I'd also like to shout out and thank John Handel. He's been a big supporter of me throughout my educational career and obviously into my professional career.
Sounds great. John, anybody want to thank real quick before we
I'm going to leave it with what Sam said. I think those were good ones. That was good. I'm going to leave it at that.
All right.
Thanks,
Sam. Appreciate it. John, have a good week. And everybody, make sure you follow us and make sure you subscribe to the ElkWorks YouTube channel. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye-bye.